Hi, this is Amy from Fox Run, and today we're going to be talking about the fall garden and my planting schedule, specifically for Zone 6B. So here we just have a map of Zone 6. The lighter green is Zone 6B. And on this, in the fall, what we are paying attention to is that first frost date, the end of October, because we want to count backwards when we're planting our fall crops. So there's a lot of pros of the fall garden. There are less bugs, which is always good. The bugs are ending their life cycle and dying off. These are plants that favor warm days and cool nights. And I think it's just more enjoyable to be out in the garden in the fall. There are some cons, I guess. Okay, you're not done for the season. There's still more work to do, but the benefits far outweigh the work. Lots of crops that you can grow in fall, very similar to your spring crops. So the brassicas, greens, peas and beans, root crops, onions and garlic. So this is a picture of my setup for fall seedlings. It's totally different than what I do in spring because in spring I'm needing to make sure I can get the area warm enough. In fall, I'm trying to keep those seedlings cooler. So I start them in a shed with an open front. So I just plant them on a table to kind of keep them up off the ground, away from bugs and animals, chickens that are running around. So the ideal temperature is 60 to 75. I didn't have any fans or air conditioning in this space, so sometimes it did get a bit warm. But in the morning, I would often put seedlings out on a picnic table and then bring them back into the shade in the afternoon. We usually don't direct sow in August because the ground is just too hot. So my planting schedule, I start in mid to late July. I plant fall peas and beans, and I usually plant them in yogurt cups or peat pots so that they can start out in those cooler temperatures and not in the hot ground. I do plant a last round of summer squash right into the garden because the squash does like the heat. So at the end of July, beginning of August, I start planting brassicas. I plant them in yogurt cups or peat pots typically because I want to reduce transplant shock. In early August, I start seeding greens, onions, and I also do that, in pots. I'm not seeding anything directly into the garden yet. So in late August, I start planting out carrots and beets. Now, sometimes I do start my beets and carrots in pots, in seedlings, so that I can transplant them. I've been pretty successful transplanting beets. Carrots can be a little bit more cranky. I'm also starting to seed broccoli, kale, and chard. Uh, in September, uh, I'm starting to plant flowers. If you're interested in planting flowers that are going to overwinter, prairie plants, black-eyed Susans, coneflowers, poppies, all of those things do really well when you seed them in the fall. They're also great pollinators for your garden. This time of year, I'm planting several rows of radishes. I plant them every week. Radishes grow so fast. I'm also planting lettuces every week, often in the same row with the radishes. Kind of a quickie salad. This is just another shot of my seedling setup for fall. In October, I'm planting out garlic bulbs and winter wheat. Winter wheat is primarily a cover crop. I'm not necessarily growing it for wheat, and I do have to protect it because my horse thinks it's delicious. So as we go into the fall, we are covering plants up for the winter. These are just some basic hoop houses. It's kind of hard to see the picture on the left. I have some fencing in front of it, but putting down hoops in the soil, covering those with row fabric to keep those plants protected from harsh winter winds and snow. So happy gardening. Thank you for joining me.